'Twas the night before Coltmas, and all things were quiet. That was, of course, until an interdimensional hoe ripped apart the very fabric of time and space. A human materialized through the space-time hole, but naked. 'Twas also Kim Jong-il's birthday, so a double rainbow could be seen, all across the sky. Then a voice boomed from the heavens, "I approve of this cliche." And suddenly all the pain and death was vanquished from the world, for it was the time of Chuck Norris's second coming. Amen. The man with the fist beard stood tall, proud of his naked form. Looking around, he wondered how simply yawning could have ripped asunder the very fabric of the universe. He shrugged, and with a shrug and meh that echoed through the valleys and shook the mountains, he set off towards a distant village, with smoke sifting lazily from the many chimneys. Or rather, he stood still and the village moved towards him, I tell you what.
Upon the village arriving at him, Chuck took a look around, and what he saw did not please him. The late 17th century building style I do not approve of, so let it be changed. And see, since his mighty words was law, the buildings changed in a flash of light to a more contemporary early Byzantine-era form of architecture. This was far more suited to his classical pace, so Mr. Norris was pleased. It wasn't so pleasing for the ponies, however, as their wooden dwellings were transformed into more fire-retarding stone ones, and one lavender pony was particularly peeved that her beloved books had all been turned into scrolls in ancient Greek.
Taking a stroll through town at a leisurely pace, known as supersonic to humans and ponies, Norris seemed nonplussed by the fact he was surrounded by talking, multicolored ponies. It was just a usual day for him, and this dimension wasn't so different from all the other dimensions he regularly visited. Said ponies, however, did not fare so well, the majority fainting when confronting with the image of a strange naked man flying throughout their fair municipality. Then the rest mentally scarred, a flying god with the wind flapping in his holy genitals, falling under the mind category cannot unsee.
Calling together a meeting of the 6 elements of harmony in the overgrown tree/library, a still fuming twilight sparkle began a rant that would echo throughout the ages, calling our holiness such crass terms as hairless two-legged fuckface and beard for brains, and worst of all, an overused excuse for a meme that became an unfunny in the late 90s. Now calm down, sugar. I'm sure he's just here temporarily, came the voice of Applejack, but was completely ignored by Twilight, pulling her mane out while continuing her heretical rant. Temporarily, because of him, I have to learn ancient Greek, and I don't even have any books on ancient Greek. And even if I did, I couldn't read them because they're in ancient Greek. Ears still ringing, the Pegasus Fluttershy emerged from the potted plant she was hiding in. You could just ask him to leave, she quietly suggested. The subdued unicorn began pacing back and forth across the library, muttering to herself, "Okay, Twilight, think rationally here. Now what would Princess Celestia do?" "I say we just kick him back to wherever he or she came from, like this," came the voice of the brash Pegasus Rainbow Dash, demonstrating action on thin air, unfortunately making painful contact with the wall in the process. Ow.
West to Lou, every pony turned to the door. Doctor trotted in swiftly. He's in an ancient, powerful enemy of mine, known as Chuck Norris. As there is only one known way to defeat him. How? Every pony asks. No time to explain. Twilight fetched me $2,000, film cameras, and my portable gun, disappearing into her hidden heart. For the matter of fact, we have martial artists, superhero Gus to find and expel from this dimension.
Chuck Norris hovered in midair, deep in meditation. Cowering ponies surrounded him, some fanning him, some bringing him tequilas, and others giving him beard massages. Yes, right there. Oh, that's the spot, Chuck Norris moaned in his voice, deeper than the ocean itself, as he directed the trembling pony to the G-spot of his beard. His blissful meditation was cut short, however, as the red stallion approached him, showing no fear. Big Macintosh looked in the eyes of Chuck himself. He saw two endless pits of spiritual dominance, martial arts, mastery, and right-wing political views. Who dares approach me? The mighty Chuck Norris, master of Chun Cook, Do, and harbinger of the end of times. Suddenly nervous, Big Macintosh started hoofing out circles in the dirt below him. I was just wondering, what right do you have to go around treating every pony like a slave? Chuck Norris chuckled darkly. With a click of his fingers, the stallion was reduced to a pile of dust before he could even say, "Yep." Anyone else feel like a little disagreement? The other ponies shook their heads vigorously and got back to attending the mighty Norris's every whim.
Mr. Norris, we have a business proposition for you. Opening half an eye, half all God, Chuck spied 6 ponies, all carrying camera equipment. What is that then? And hurry up. I haven't got all day. One of the ponies in cowboy hat spoke up. Begging your pardon, Mr. Norris, but we are here representing the Equestrian Republican Party, and we just wondered if you could partake in our latest propaganda campaign for, say, $2,000. Chuck mused, stroking his immeasurable expanse of a beard. Seems legit. She has a southern accent. We sure anything to help out on my favorite end of political spectrum. That's great then. All you have to do is walk slowly towards the camera, talking about how much you hate gays and liberals.
What's wrong with Equestria today? When gays are allowed to serve openly in the military, our children are allowed to pray in schools? I promise on behalf of the Republican Party, we will end Celestia Swarm religion. Now, Doctor, Twilight shouted, and the doctor in question leapt out from behind a building, switched the portal gun to interdimensional travel, and fired it at Chuck Norris's feet. The Norse fell through the conveniently placed portal and traveled through space and time for the second time today, all the while saying, "Curse you, Doctor Who." Well, I'm glad that nasty business is over with. Rarity voiced everybody's thoughts. You can say that again, you go to Island.
Hey, what did I miss? Exclaimed Spike, the baby dragon looking from the interdimensional portal in the floor to Big Macintosh's ashes nearby. The whole square fell into laughter, and the doctor just shook his head, smirking. And this is my favorite alternate universe. What? Said Twilight. Never you mind, he chuckled softly. Never you mind. Mirth the ponies were short-lived, however, for Mr. Cake, relieved to have stopped fetching tequilas, turned to his wife. Well, I wasn't expecting that. Then suddenly a loud synthesizer sound was heard, usually reserved for when the monster appeared in horror movies, and the interdimensional portal glowed, spewing forth 3 men all dressed in red. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition!
A.M. Not meant as a political rant. I'm sorry if it came out that way. All political references were purely for to lulls. By the way, exchange rate for references cookies is 1 to 1. So whomever can name the references shall earn 3 cookies. No more, no less. 3 shall be the number of cookies, and the numbers of cookies shall be 3. 4 shall be too many cookies, and neither shall you receive 2, excluding that, and you can go on to receive 3.